Насколько мне известно, сегодня
This morning, for the first time in the world, a vaccine against the new coronavirus was registered.
The announcement of a COVID-19 vaccine should be cause for a global celebration, but there are at least 3 good reasons why Putin's claims have been met with muted alarm bells instead. Number 1, in April, Russia eliminated the requirement for Phase 3 trials for drug approvals.
Phase 3 trials are really about proving that the vaccine provides the protection we hope it does in a real-world setting. They often involve quite large numbers to be able to do that, so often 20 or 30,000 volunteers. So to say a vaccine's been approved without that information is a little bit scary.
Number 2, early trials were carried out on military personnel and the scientists developing the vaccine.
We always want to make sure our volunteers in our clinical trials are not biased and that there's no perception of coercion that's been possible.
Number 3, not a single scientist outside Russia has been able to peer review the work done on this vaccine.
We really do need to wait till we see proper data in a really reputable peer-reviewed source so that we can adequately assess it. But until we do see that, again, we need to just interpret these announcements with a little bit of caution.
But despite all of this, is it possible Russia might actually have developed a coronavirus vaccine?
Well, for his expert opinion on this, we're catching up with Professor Bill Botel, who specialises in strategic health policy at UNSW. Professor, what are the chances Russia has actually found a vaccine?
Well, we have no idea, really. All that we have out of Russia is a presidential press conference. There's no published data. There's no peer review. At the moment, on this lack of information, no Western regulator, not the Therapeutic Goods Administration in Australia, would remotely consider that this was a vaccine about to be put on the international market. It's a process that really can't be shortened. And a prime ministerial presidential press conference is no substitute for science.
Can I ask you about this, Bill? So I understand there's a phase 2 or stage 2 part of this. Stage 3 looks like it might just kind of be skipped over. So to give us a bit of context, how many vaccines would get past or get to stage 2 but not get past the stage 3 filter?
Look, at every step of the way, at every point, at every filter, it's like a hurdle. Many fail at each hurdle, and that's how it should be, because science comes up with 100 or 200 ideas for a vaccine, and at each point, more and more of them fall by the wayside. It has to be like that because you can't bring a vaccine or claim a vaccine, bring it to market or a treatment if it's going to have unintended or unforeseen side effects.
Well, there's a bit of discussion around today on whether the Australian government has done enough to ensure vaccine supply for Australia when one is found. Do you think we should be doing more?
Yes, indeed I do. We can't dither on this. This is a huge race, an international race. Immense amounts of money, billions, tens of billions of dollars are being put behind this in America, in Europe, China. So we've got to pay to play. We've got to be in it. It's no use holding back. The agreements have to be signed now, not next month or next year. If we don't get into this now as investors and supporters at this stage, as so many other countries are doing, then we will certainly be at the end of the queue if and when some effective vaccine comes onto the markets. It's a horse race. The more races you back, the more horses you back, the greater the chance you'll get a winner.
I don't know. You've never punted with me, Professor. The more horses I back, the more money I tend to lose.
Yeah, well, me too, I've got to say.
I would have thought that Russia does drugs pretty well. That's my general kind of view on Russia. If you have to pick someone who you think is going to lead the world in this, where's your money lie?
On America and Europe, and certainly in the United Kingdom, there's a so-called group, Oxford Group, who seem to be recording extremely promising and encouraging results. But what we know makes the difference is large amounts of money given now. So Australia just has to get off the chair. It's got to be in the international negotiations, and it's got to start putting down big bucks.
Well, Bill, thanks so much for your wise words tonight. Great to chat.
Thanks so much.
It was interesting reading about this today because Putin, I think they tested it on a handful of people, a couple of dozen, as opposed to tens of thousands, which they're meant to. But one of them was his daughter, but not both of his daughters. Just one of his daughters has had the vaccine.
Well, that's why you have 2 daughters, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
I
the
know,
way to find out you're not the
randomised,
favourite.
what do they call randomised trial or whatever. But I don't I just find that says a lot, doesn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
well, which one? Oh, I could probably do without her if it doesn't go to plan.
Yeah.
But it depends how confident he is, because you're right. Because if he's confident, then the favourite gets it, and if he's not, the dud gets it.
So you're going to have a crack at this Russian vaccine then? Just
It's
having
interesting,
fun?
though. The Russian vaccine apparently is quite similar to the one they're working on at Oxford.
Sounds like she's backing it to me. Is
No,
that what
I'm
you
not.
guys-
I've
I
just
think
read
so
a lot about
too.
it
No
today.
one,
Yeah.
no one is backing this vaccine more than me. I've started putting phrases in. This is what I've got so far,
Oh, okay.
Сначала мне, пожалуйста.
which means me first, please.
Somehow I don't think that's how they're going to roll it out.
What, to people with their iPhone standing with the phrase?
No, to you first.
Oh,